Om Shanti Shambho Mahadeva. So we are on the vivaham and the Gruhastasramam. So the bit of Gruhastasramam because vivaham being one of the major part of the Gruhastasramam, lots of explanations and lots of details have been given in various ways. As I told you, there are 8 kinds of vivaham, and the Brahma vivaham is that Kardama Prajapati, when he was after meditating, he wanted Gruhastashram to be led so that experience can be completed and then get moksha. So Swayambhu Manu, he brought his putri and Devahuti, brought his daughter Devahuti, and there is a great samvada between the Pita, that means the Swayambhu Manu, and Kardama Prajapati. Why and how, what for he wants to get married, and Manu's explanation why he wants to give his daughter to Kardama Prajapati only. So both explaining the qualities of each other. It's a very interesting subject, quite a bit of that. Very nice it is. So Kardama Prajapati explaining about the Manu and Devahuti, especially Manu, about his capabilities of the Prajapatyam and how he is the ruler, how dharmic, and how in detail how he has been managing. And why Devahuti has been chosen is because of her qualities of tapasya and the ichha for the anushtanam of the Gruhastashram. Anushtanam of the Gruhastashram is why I told you all this. So that is why Kardama Prajapati said, yes, that is why I am accepting her, and I am sure that she will be a suitable Vadhu for me, is what Kardama Prajapati says. This is how the Brahma Vivaham is done. The Pita taking the daughter and finding a suitable groom and giving it to him, handing over to him, is that. So this is how that Vivaha. So the particular purpose, what I told, is that each one understood before the getting married, each one understood the anushtanam of the Gruhastasramam very well. The purpose of the Gruhastasramam. The purpose of the Gruhastasramam is only a part of the life, in fact. And in Gruhastasramam is nothing but, it's just like a vrata. It is an anushtanam. It's a yajnam. It is not only, it's a yajnam. Yajnam is a karma. Yajnam is a karma done with the dharmam. It's called yajnam. It's a yajnam. It's a dharma karma. It's a dharmika karma. It is being, the values of that has to be understood much before that. That's why in case of Kardama Prajapati, he did tapasya for long years, many years. Then only Mahavishnu presented him this boon. Devahuti also, under the able guidance of the Swayambhu Manu, she has learned a lot of tapasyas and yajnam acquired, and various disciplines, various methodology of the dharmic way of living has been understood properly. And for such a lady, naturally she would like to have a sannyasi, a great saint who would like to be her husband, not any ordinary person. So naturally, that's why Kardama Prajapati was chosen. So this is the kind of thoughts that each individual has to have. This is why the vivaham has been included in the Shodasa samskara. You see, if it is only just vivaha as today, in today's conditions, what is vivaham? If you follow that, this is not has to be this. Anybody who listens to that or anybody understands this will laugh at that this has been included into the Shodasa samskara. This is included into 16 important samskaras, the vidhis of the. That means an importance that it has to undergo the process of the discipline, like a birth which you don't have a control on the birth. You don't have a control on the death. You don't have a control on any other things. But how that between the birth and death, that where no control has been there, how you should lead that discipline has to be brought in order to gain the process, as I told you some time back, that to go back to your the self. This is the purpose of all the samskaras. That's why it is known as Shodasa samskara. Why it is known as samskara? Samskara means refining. That you see, the purpose of birth is refining. Same way, the purpose of the birth is refining. The death is refining. Vivaha is also Gruhastasramam, and Vivaha is also a refining process. That's all. It is a samskara, not an activity, not a karma, not a dharma, not nothing. That it is a samskara. That's why it's a process of samskara. It is a process of refining. It's a process of culturing yourself towards the kaivalya or the liberation. Purpose is liberation. The purpose of Janma is liberation. The purpose of education is liberation. Kaumaram in the Gurukulam and Vidyabhyasam or Upanayanam, all those whatever you say, that they are all meant for this discipline, bringing you into the discipline of the liberation. All for success. So Viva is also that, see, not on today's conditions, but has to go on to the principles of the Vivaha. So that is why the old days that these different Vivahas have been explained, so that a person who would like to attain the Brahmajnanam, Brahmatattvam and Brahma Sakshatkaram and liberation and moksha, the Vivaha is also one of the activities of attain, like a tapasya, it is one of the activities to attain the liberation. Not for any other purpose, even not for Vamshavardhana. Even Vamshavardhana has been assigned as one of the necessities for the world, because Vamshavardhana is not there, the world will not be there. So Vamshavardhana has to be there. Vamshavardhana should be in such a way that it has to be qualitative. It has to be like that. It is not just like that, you see. So that is why the saints, that's why the Yajnavalkya has always told, or Vaishambhayana has always told that that the brahmachari is the right person in order to undergo the process of the Gruhastasramam. Before the like Kardama Prajapati and Devahuti, even before itself, before getting married, one should know what is vivaha. See, that's the importance of it. You see, why before you are going to do something, you should know what it is. So before going into that, he should know. Before going into tapasya, we should know what is tapasya for. No, then only you do the tapasya. Similarly, vivaha is meant for what? Meant for liberation, not for anything else. Yes, in that liberation, the part of liberation, there is a Vamshavardhana is one of the important issues in order to have the generations and the people in the world. In fact, in order to bring the progress, there has to be generations. Like a Srishti has to be there. Like Srishti Sthiti Samharam is the combination of the existence of the world, for the purpose of existence of the world. So what is that vivaha? The Gruhastasramam or the vivaham, both are same here. The Gruhastasramam or in the vivaham is meant for, it is an anushtanam, how it has to be done. It's a vrata anushtanam. Just like any other vratas. Vrata is discipline. What is a vrata? What is a discipline? In vrata, the moment vrata I say, Ekadashi vratam, this vratam, that vratam, we have so many vratas are there. Why it is all there? It has come to such a state that it has reduced to, even though it started with the great purposes and all that. Now it has, now at this era, it has come to such a stage that only some people follow it very strictly. What is that? Just starving. Food. Vrata has come down to not taking food is vrata. Is it not immediately what is the mind seeing? That's what we are seeing. That's what in this world we are seeing, and many places. Oh, and the importance of that also is given only that you ask somebody, today it is my vrata, so I will not eat. They will not say, I will not tell lie, I will not do this one, I will not think bad, I will do only praise. That's not vrata. What is vrata? Vrata is that today is vrata, I will not eat. That's all. Eat, it has come to that stage that eating. Okay, eating is also one of the part of the vratas. Vrata. It is one of the ingredients of vrata, or one of the activities of vrata. There are so many activities of vrata. Vrata is discipline. What is discipline? Discipline is that tapasya. Mind should be absolutely shantam. Like not taking food for the sharira is vrata, not having other thoughts to the mind is also a vrata. That is vrata. The true vrata is that when the mind is totally at peace, when the mind is totally towards the worship of the Lord, worship of the higher consciousness, and worship of everything, and then when the mind is absolutely peaceful and shanta, where the mind doesn't get involved into the bhautika activities, that means materialistic pleasures. When the mind is not involved in the materialistic pleasures, is called a vrata, which is called a discipline, which is called dharma. The purpose of vrata is to attain and experience and practice dharma. What is dharma? Dharma is that not getting involved into, attracted and attached to the materialistic way of living. That means bhautika jivan, where there is kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya and attractions and attachments. When it's not there, then only it is a vrata. That is called the yajnam. That is why it is on the fire. The yajnam is on the fire, and we consume all those consumables what you consume. So that what you consume should not be consumed during the process of vrata is called the discipline. And this vrata is maintained only for making you practice how not to get into. That's why there are so many vratas are there. In Hindu Shastra, you will find that there many people have criticized also. Every month when you strictly go through the Panchanga and all that, you will find 3 or 4 vratas has to be taken. Every month. No. It becomes a ritual, and initially it becomes a ritual, and afterwards it becomes a practice for a person to undergo the process of vrata. And it is not an imposed, this is something, today's vrata is something as if somebody is doing a great obligation to the God. Oh, आज तो व्रत है, आज तो ये करने का पड़ेगा, ये ऐसा करना पड़ेगा, ये this has to be done, that has to be done. That's the condition to it. It is not like that. With absolute happiness, with absolute solitude, absolute shantata, absolute devotion, absolute dedication, a vrata has to be done. But during the vrata, except eating particular things, all other things they will do. No? Can it be called as a vrata? It is not a vrata. It is not a discipline. So the discipline is to be dharmam. That means dharmam is meant for what? Dharmam is not meant for materialistic way of living. Dharmam is meant for absolutely promoting you towards the liberation. That is why we call it as a Gruhastasramam. In Grihasti, you should live like in an ashramam. Ashramam is there where ashraya is there, where dependency is there. Where is the dependency? Where can we depend actually? On what can we depend? And where can we really depend? Where we will not be deceived. No? We can depend only on dharmam, only on the Brahman, only on the truth, only on the dedication and devotion, only on the praise, only on the God. We can depend only on that. That means, what are these things? They are nothing but your own, the inner consciousness of the soul of you. The soul, what do you mean by soul? The soul is that the consciousness. That consciousness is called Brahman, Prajnanam Brahma. We can depend, the most dependable object, or no most dependable thing, or most dependable existence that is available is Brahman, which is readily available. Whereas we look for dependency on all other things. No? We would like to depend on all other things and experimenting, and finally finding that we cannot depend on that. On which can you depend? Any human being, or any material, or any world, or any house, or any money, or any wealth, or any idea, or any education, any knowledge. Can you depend on any of these things? Nothing. Everything will go one day. What can you depend on? Only one thing. Ashraya should be to that where you will get absolute assurance of Ashram, is called. Yeah. That is why Ashramam it is called. Where this can be provided is an ashram. That's why where there is the Brahman, where there is the Brahman himself, there only the Ashraya can be dependent on. Nothing else. You can use the other things, but don't depend on that. Don't have Ashraya on that. Don't have Ashraya on the wealth. Don't have Ashraya on the health. Or don't have Ashraya on your age. Don't have Ashraya on your capabilities. Don't have Ashraya on any of these. No, nothing that is available external to you. That what you have acquired external to you. You don't depend on that. Depend only on that which is there with you. Not that what you have possessed. Not that what you have acquired. That what, see, very simple equation, mathematical calculation it is. No? That which can be acquired by you, that has to be dependent on you, not that you dependent on that, is it not? Suppose I can possess this glass, I can possess it. The glass has to be dependent on me so that I don't drop it. I don't have to depend on the glass, is it not? That which I can procure, why should I be dependent on that? That I can possess, why should I be dependent on that? Is it not simple to understand? That which cannot be possessed by me, that which cannot be acquired by me, and that which can acquire me, that which can acquire me, I have to be dependent on that. That is Brahman. That's why it is known as Ashramam, Ashrayam. That's why dependency, Ashrayam. Ashrayam should be in such, Ashrayam should be that, where you can be possessed, you are possessed. There only you can have the Ashrayam. Not that what you can procure. What you can. Today what happened? We depend on that what we can. That is a slave to you, that you have already procured that. You already earned the money. Then what is the dependency on that? It's a slave to you. You already acquired this. You already procured this. You already have possessed this. You already got it. You already fought it. Everything that is there outside you is, we are dependent on. The human being is dependent on those which are absolutely temporary, where you have all the rights, because it's very easy. You have all the capabilities, rights and eligibility to get it because you have possessed it, so it is yours. You depend on that. Then you don't have to depend on that, but our dependency is on that. Our whole life dependency is only based on those parameters, you see. If that is there, then I am already procured it. Then we say also, if that is there, then I will be alive. If that is not there, it will not be. If he is there, I will be alive. If he is not there, that is not there. If that is there, I will be alive. I can be happy. I cannot be happy. If that is there, I can survive. If that is there, I can be happy. You depend on those which are very temporary, external, which you have already either procured or you can easily procure. That's available. How can you be dependent on that? Silly. Absolutely silly, is it not? You should be dependent on that which is much more powerful than you, that any point of time he can just grab you. You should depend on that. The one who doesn't have to take your permission to take you, you should be dependent on that. No? That which cannot be, no, in any way that you can control, you should be dependent on that. He should be in a position to control you. He should be in a position to direct you. He should be in a position to possess you. He should be in a position to destroy you, destruct you. You should be dependent on that. No? It's called Ashraya. Is why it is called Ashramam, where we have Ashraya. That's why in Ashraya we bow down, surrender, because I cannot do anything against. But for others, for acquiring money, acquiring wealth, anything, I just, I fight. I'm ready to fight anytime. So you see the difference between what is the real meaning of Ashraya. Have one understood it the right way, in the right meaning? Ashraya should be, dependency should be on that. The whole process of life itself is to understand and know, understand and experience, and then surrender to that where we can depend on. Is why it is known as the Gruhastasramam. Gruhastasramam. That's why it is known as, where is the ashrama in Gruhastha? This is the ashrama in Gruhastha that we depend on. For that, what we have to do? We have to have certain disciplines, yama niyama. In those disciplines, this fall in the we have the samskara. Why this is known as samskara? Vivaha is known as samskara. Through the vivaha, we would like to get cultured through vivaha. That's why we have to have vivaha. Through vivaha, we have to have culture. What is the culture? That if you are alone, you would have done like this. If you are with family, you would have done that like this. Lot of sacrifices I think I have told this earlier also. Lot of sacrifices have to be done. Lot of swarthada will go away. You will find the Grihanatha, especially in Grihanathas, the true Grihanatha will have to have, at a point of time, he will have to have absolutely no swarthada at all. Anything that he is doing is only for the house, only for the family, only for the... That means you learn renunciation during the process. What are you learning? You learn renunciation during the process. In that renunciation is that method which is called culturing yourself, where self doesn't require. The happiness of self is contributed to others. In others' happiness, the Grihanatha finds happiness, or who are taking care of the Grihastashram, the one whoever it is, any individual, it's not only one person, each and every individual who assumes Griha as the Grihastasrama, he finds renunciation. Through renunciation only, there will be an absolute bonding and happiness can be created. Through renunciation. Through possessiveness, through possession, can you gain the peace? No. Through possession it cannot be. But what happens here? Here in this case what happens? We have only possession. Possess this, possess that, possess this, possess this, possess this. These possessions have to be renounced. So the culture that the discipline that is there, vrata. What is a vrata? Vrata is that I do not want anything. Swartha bhava should not be there. This swarthata has to be there. Let it happen, let it be there. Let it give. Then only the happiness can be brought. And what is the purpose of giving? Giving is that there has to be an absolute equilibrium as well as an absolute happiness in that, because the happiness is necessary in order to have peace. If there is disturbance, dukkha and kashta, there will be no peace. If we have botherations, where is the peace then? So in order to have peace, initially it has to be happiness, even though happiness also doesn't bring peace, but happiness is one of the steps. Instead of kashta and dukkha, happiness is one of the things that can bring peace. So bring first of all the happiness. In order to happiness, what happened? Niswartha bhava has to be there, then only there will be happiness. So long there is swartha bhava, there will be no happiness. Invariably, let it be anybody for that matter. Even a small swarthada will create absolute disturbance, agitation of the mind, and there will be no peace. There will be no happiness, there will be no peace. So what happened? A nullified status has to be brought. In order to bring the status of the nullifications, the initial step in the vivaha, the initial step in the Gruhastasramam is the happiness. For happiness, what happened? Everybody has to understand the other's niswartha bhava. Everybody has to understand the other's niswartha bhava, and everybody has to follow the niswartha bhava. Then only this will be possible. It has to be understood also. If you don't understand, then the conclusion will be something else. So niswartha bhava has to be understood. Why did he do that? No. Is there a swartha bhava in that or a niswartha bhava in that? One should realize that. Sometimes externally it can appear to be a swartha bhava, because people who are not knowledgeable towards that much, they can see that is a swarthada actually, what he is doing. But when you have knowledge, when you really analyze it, you will find that this is going to bring niswartha bhava tomorrow, day after tomorrow, or 10 days later. This analysis has to be done. Devabhuti, that's why I told you the example of Kardam Prajapati, Devabhuti. Devabhuti is equally qualified for the Gruhastasramam as the Tapasvi Kardam Prajapati. This training, this is the purpose of that. That culturing has to be taken place. During the process of the vivaha, the responsibilities have to be carried out. The responsibility in the sense, each one, as I told you, each one's responsibility is only to attain Brahman is the only responsibility. In human being's life, the only responsibility is to attain Brahman. That's all. That's your responsibility. All other things happens and you have to manage it. And when you have these disciplines, or this vrata has to be carried out, when you maintain the niswartha bhavam, first of all bringing the happiness. Through the niswartha bhava, what happens? Through niswartha bhava, Vairagya is created. Even though there is an attachment, Vairagya is not, and many people have, I think I have discussed Vairagya in a very great extent when Bhagavan Shiva is called as a Vairagi, and people asked then why did he marry? First Sati, then afterwards Parvati, and afterwards Shakti, afterwards this, the same paryaya of that. But why? Then why did he got depressed and disappointed when Sati jumped into the fire? The chest, Agni, Yajna Agni. And why did he have to be disappointed? At these points I have already explained in earlier, I think at a great length. So what is a Vairagya? Vairagya is misunderstood as that. Vairagya is that not having attachment to the raga attractions. What's the meaning of that? Not to get attracted to attractions is called a Vairagi. One may get confused. What is attraction and attraction? Why one should not get, there are attractions, there are so many attractions are there. Kamadeva came with this one and then shot him with this one. A lot of stories you must have heard about it. All are attractions, and he created that. Like even Vishwamitra, when he did tapasya, Indra, in order to destroy his tapasya, sent so many, Ramba and Menaka and all that, and to create attractions, you see. So these attractions will be there in order to understand the true Vairagya in you. They are attractions. They are temporarily for the purpose of why Vishwamitra should not get attracted to it. It's not that why Vishwamitra should not get married. He was a Raja. He was having all the pleasures. He was living as he was a king only. That's why Vishwamitra name. He was a king. So Raja Rishi, he's a Raja Rishi always. Because being a Raja, he has become a Rishi, he's a Raja Rishi. Being a Rishi, though, he should know very well why Ramba has come, why Menaka has come. So, if he has fallen into a tapasvi, you should compare this. A tapasvi Vishwamitra who is very stern, having undergone all the experiences of the Bhautika Jivan in a Raja, as a king, as a Chakravarti, he has enjoyed everything. He had everything, wealth, everything. And then he took the sannyasa. Having taken sannyasa, went into the tapasya and having renounced all these things, he should have known that if Menaka has come, it is meant for destroying my tapasya. He should have known that. But what happened was, his rajasic qualities in him, that the rajasic, sattvika qualities leaving aside, rajasic qualities in him in the subconscious mind has not been completely gone. It has not been gone. Is why he got the attraction towards that. Otherwise, a person who has attained certain level of tapasya, he should not have got attracted to that. Because that is an attraction to destroy you. You got attracted to that which is, you know that it is meant for destruction of your tapasya. And you got attracted to it. So this is what happens. This is what I mean by not getting attracted to attractions. Is that in the Gruhastasramam, in the vivaham, another lesson, or the culturing that is taken place, I told you that it is meant for the vrata. Culturing taken place is that not to get attracted to the attractions, but get attracted to the truth, the realities. This you can find in our old people who had lived in joint family systems and all that. Even otherwise, the husband and wife, how they led their life. Where they, I look at my grandmother and great grandmother. I have seen great grandmother also. Look at them. You will find that absolutely, they have no complaints on, even though there are so many things to complain. If it is compared today, they should have, I think, thousands of complaints more than that what we have today. They should have had, because there were no facilities, there was no other things. Everything had to be manually, physically done, and then so many other things. They don't go out of the house mostly, only for shadis and other celebrations and other visiting. That's all. That is once in how many times in a year, we don't know. It depends on that. So, or going to the temple and coming back. And limitations were many, but their happiness was multiples of this. Even though they were living in the limitations, those limitations were not restricting them. You understood my point? How it becomes a limitation? When I am restricted, then I feel that I am limited. Then only limited. When there's restrictions or limitations and restrictions are not limiting me in any case, I don't feel that limitations. As far as that lady is concerned or that man is concerned, whoever it is concerned, he is not feeling that it is a restriction, and his limits of growing, his whatever his requirement is absolutely perfectly fine. So where is the question of then that limitation affecting him? Or attractions, restrictions, you feel restricted or you feel restrictions attracted. Today, you feel restricted because you have different thoughts and you are unable to fulfill it. Whereas they think only what they can and they should. This is the difference. This purification process takes place during the Viva. Is another culturing that a person has got. When this happens, why did I say this? Is because happiness leads to the peace, I said. Happiness leads to peace in the sense happiness is converted into peace. When happiness comes, we do not get attracted to happiness. We enjoy the happiness, we do not get attracted to happiness because that should not become the limitations and restriction for me. to get attracted to. Then our expectations will go, and when expectations go, automatically limitations and restrictions and then expectations will increase in this whenever we have that. Whereas they are, suppose one is going only once in a year, he is enjoying, well, that is enjoyed and come back and never have complained on that in the sense, because this is the way we are supposed to be living. Accepted factors, you see, whenever this acceptance comes, actually what happens, the restrictions are not imposed on that, and there are no restrictions imposed. Actually, the house is taken care by the lady, the man brings the material, provides them. The areas are totally divided and absolutely done. Then so many things happen. Whatever happens. She is in her own world, he is in his world. Absolutely happiness. Niswartha bhavata comes there, up to a certain extent, great extent. So what happens in earlier days, because of their jnanam, not the today's education status and the requirements and expectations and nuclear families and many other developments have taken place, and materialistic developments have taken place. So our attractions, attachment, way of living, nature of living, way of living, everything has changed. So automatically what happened? We do not have happiness and we do not have peace. Ultimate result is that. What is the use of such? Do we call it as a development or a destruction? Ultimately what is there? The purification, why this is known as an ashrama, like in how is an ashram? When we say where some place where we go, I used to remember, we used to comment also, looks like an ashram. So peaceful. Why? Because so peaceful. Even when the breeze comes, it is so careful that it should not create a flutter in the leaf. So so gentle is the breeze. Is following the discipline of the ashram. So beautiful it is. So what is the meaning of ashram? Ashram, the meaning is that where absolute shantata is there. In shantata there is absolute happiness. Happiness is inherent in shantata. That shantata has to be brought in the grihasti. It's called Gruhastasramam. How can it happen? It can happen in Niswartha bhava, dharmic way of living. The purpose of life has to be understood. Purpose of living has to be understood. Not purpose of living. Purpose of life has to be understood. Methodology of living and practices of living, how to live, has to be understood. So for that, we have to have yajnam of the dharma. We have to have the purpose of life, and then we should know. We should have Vairagya. This is called Vairagya. Not to have raga towards any of these things is called Vairagya. Not that he should not get married or he should not have children. No, things like that. They are not that. It is meant for that. It is a purpose. So absolutely okay. One can. All the Maharishis are married. You see our whole histories and everything. Not only here, even the Egyptian history, where the oldest, which is known as one of Indian as well as the Egyptian. And you go there also you will find that all the saints are married. All the rishis are married. All the Maharishis. Rishito, not the sannyasi. The rishi is married. Rishi has already attained the Brahma Sakshatkaram and Brahma Jnanam. He is able to control everything in proper. That's why he is eligible to get married, because he knows what is called Gruhastasrama and how he can maintain the Gruhastasrama. So the ashrama is meant for Gruhastasrama is what I meant was, or Gruhastasrama is meant for culturing ourselves, not for expectations and getting involved into the materialistic way of living or the bhautika jivan, getting sunk, entangled into that. No, it is not meant for that. That is why we have a lot of kashta and dukkha. That's why we have a lot of dependency on those things. So dependency should be based on that, based on this. So when it happens, automatically what happens? There is shantata. When there is shantata, there is happiness, or when there is happiness, there is shantata. They are interlinked. There is no doubt about it. So for that, we have to remove our kashta and dukkha. We have to remove the miseries, worries and things like that. When do we get worried? Because of our expectations because our possessions, because of our requirement, desires, expectations and possessions. These are the ones which are creating our dissatisfaction in our that. A small thing can create dissatisfaction in life and you destroy your life. A small material matter which get destroyed in few days time because you did not get it, no? One loses. People commit suicide for what? Small things. People kill each other for properties. People kill each other for their fulfillment of desires, fulfillment of things. What happens? They got mad. What happened? The purification is the ashram. They are not living in the ashrama. They are all living in the depend. Because what happened? Their misconception of dependency on that matter. Unless that is there, I get it. I will not be able to. So I am ready to kill anybody for that matter. After receiving it, he knows that it is not worth it. Because that is left and vanished at one point of time. Everything will go. Everything will vanish. Nothing will be with you. No? Even your body, even your mind, your thoughts, your education, your status of understanding. Everything will go. Only the yajnam that is there in this and in the karana sharira will remain with you. Only that yajnam and karma phalas. No? So you have to be careful. The karma has to be executed as the yajna. That is why we'll be coming in the next samskara that comes to that. So this is what is called the vivaham or the Gruhastasramam. In Gruhastasrama, it should be like a vrata. Like a vrata for the sharira. Now vrata can be taken as an example. Vrata as for the sharira is what? That starvation. That means not going against the desires of the sharira and mana. I would like to eat, but I am restricting my eating. No? That is why it is known as Buddha. I am giving a lot of importance to that. Why? I like it. I want it. Without that I cannot survive. I should have. But that which I think I cannot survive without that, I will renounce it. You see? That ahara which I think that I cannot sustain without that thought of mine, I would like to correct myself, so I would like to renounce that. I will not take it. I will not eat. It's worth the same way. I should not accept anything that is not according, depending upon my body and my mind's wish. I should not accept. I should go against. Some sannyas, some saint has told that functioning against the, creating a viplava, that means creating a revolution, fighting with the nature is called the Vairagya or renunciation. What he means by that, fighting with the nature means what? The bhautika sharira, he meant by that is the bhautika sharira which has been created by the nature, from the prakriti. I function against that prakriti, that whatever prakriti wants, because it has got everything, all the
Pancha.
All the gunas are there in the prakriti. So because of those gunas, rajasic guna and tamo gunas and rajo gunas and sato guna, we want so many things from the existence, from the bhautika jivan, and that I have to fight with. So fight with that nature, fight with that viplava. That means revolution of that. So like vrta is one of the fight. That I would like to eat, otherwise I would like to eat every day. I would like to eat 3 times. I would like to eat. But one day I decided I will not eat. I am going against that wishes of mine, wishes of my sharira and my mana. What is that? I am going against that. What for? I want to create a discipline. Not that whatever you get, you will get it. No. Whatever the consciousness will think things, I will give you. You cannot demand. I will give you whatever I give you, you should take it. Is the purpose of vrata even in ahara. So same as in the case of restriction of the ahara, I will not accept what you give me, but I will tell you what you should take. It should be the attitude of everything in our bhautika jivan. This is called through the jnanam, through the absolute brahma jnanam, brahma tattvam, And my intellect and my mind and my intellect, when it is connected to the Atman, when I get the Atma Jnanam, whatever is reflected on that should be procured for that. Not getting attracted and attached to those bhautika which are temporary, which will leave me and go away. That is not what I am depending on. That I should not depend on that. I will be depending on that. Should be known. For that you should have jnanam. That's why I said Devahuti has acquired this jnanam under the guidance and under the fathership of the Swayambhu Manu. Same way, I'm just taking an example of that because that's a supreme example. Same way, an individual should have that education, have that training, have the education or that practice or that experiences, that jnanam in us, that how to, purpose is that whatever I do has to be meant for my liberation. That is called the vrata, that's called, one is vrata. Vrata is that to have, it's a noun, renouncing all those things, but anushtanam of the vrata is that following that vrata is anushtana of the vrata. Strictly following it, anushtanam, anushtita, anushtana, anushtana. So this is why this is known as the Gruhastasramam. And this, in this Gruhastasramam, what happens? Then liberation for that karma mukti, normally vurdam connected to that, sharira and mana complete, and the vairagya. So like this, a vairagya is created in the Gruhastasramam. So you understood now what is the meaning of vairagi. Vairagi is not that he refracts from everything, he rejects everything. No. Vairagi is the one who has conquered the ragam is called vairagi. The ragam is in him, ragam is not outside him. Something that is outside him only he can get attracted to. That what he has got inside him, he is not getting attracted to because he has already got it. Why raga? The attachment is inside him. The attachment is inside him means inside that means antaratma. Where there is all the knowledges are there inside me, inside that consciousness. In my consciousness, all kinds of knowledges is there. I am attracted to that. It's called Vairagya. I am not attracted to that which is not complete. It's called a Vairagya. No, Ragam. Ragam is a tune. I cannot be tuned to that which is outside me. I can be tuned to that which is inside me. It's called Vairagya. Ragam. Where is the ragam coming from? It should be from inside. You should enjoy the raga in you. That's why it is known as raga, dvesha. Both come from you only. Not come from outside. Outside, we say that, because of that I got angry. Because of that, I got angry. But ultimately, what are you saying? I got angry. Whether it is because of that or not, I got angry. Where is that anger? Anger coming from inside. Raga, dvesha, that's why it's always, this is always told together. Raga, dvesha. Raga as well as dvesha, both come from you only. Both is with you only. Not with the object. Object sparks something, creates a spark. But you accept it and then create a dvesha, you create a raga inside. Because Vishwamitra had the raga quality of that attraction and attachment inside him, hidden, not relieved from him in the subconscious mind, he got attracted to Menaka or Ramba, whatever it is. No? Not because of Ramba is attractive. Not Menaka is attractive. For Vasishtha, Menaka, Ramba is nothing, rubbish. Throw away. No? That means it's not attractive. For him it is attractive. Why? Because the raga is in him, dvesha is in him. The raga, dvesha is in him. So Vairagi is that who? All the ragas are, he enjoys his attachment to the Bhagavan, to the Antaratma, to the consciousness is called a Vairagi. To a Vairagi, you cannot, that's why, to a Vairagi, you cannot create a ragam in him. So when Kamadeva has shot the astra to Bhagavan Shiva's third eye, he opened the third eye and made him into ashes. The principle being that from the external activities, from the bhutas, the man who is a Vairagi, who himself is a Vairagi, who himself is a raga, who himself produces raga in others, who produces the raga in others, who is one who projects the raga for others, he is being tried to attract to external raga to him, which is only, suppose this is 100%, he is shooting an arrow which is consisting of 15% of raga. So this will get burnt automatically. Whichever is higher, that will take care of it. So when he opened the third eye, what is that? Knowledge. The knowledge which is consisting of complete raga in it. The knowledge is what? Yajnam. Is everything there. Raga is also there. Ragam, what he has applied, the Kamadeva has applied is only 15%. Ragam, what he opened when his third eye, is 100%. So that 15% got dissolved into 100%. Who is a Vairagi? It's a Vairagi. Finished. So this is the principle of, I'm just manifesting things, making you understand in different ways that what is Vairagi doesn't mean that what we people generally have an impression of Vairagi is that who is absolutely isolated from the world is a Vairagi. Is not that. The world that is within him, whoever has contained that, is called a Vairagi. He doesn't require anything more. There is nothing more attractive to me there. How many times have you gone to Darjeeling? 20 times. 21st time somebody went. Nothing to see there. I have seen that botanical gardens. I have seen that. There's a tiger without tiger hills without tiger. Everything I have seen. You see. So I'm not. Is it not? What happened? Vairagya towards that. Why? Because the whole knowledge of that is within you is a Vairagya. You got my point? Shiva is that Vairagi. The whole universe is inside him, who creates the everything inside that, and for him he is shooting a small little bit of arrow. He'll get attracted to it. Vairagya is that the one who has understood the happiness is within me. I can bring happiness by creating non-attraction, non-attachment. I can create niswartha bhavena. If I stay there, I will be in a position to have absolute happiness, contentment. It's called contentment, the complete contentment. Contentment is that everything is within me. Contentment is containing everything is that I am the container, I am the contentment, I am the contentment. So everything is within me. He is a Vairagi. For him, nothing is new, nothing is attractive, nothing is attractions. It should be the creator. This is called a Vairagi. Doesn't mean that he doesn't enjoy the Vairagya. He enjoys. He has Mata, Parvati, he has the Ganas, he has sons, he has the whole universe, he has got the Devatas, he has got everything. He also enjoys the Prakriti, he has got everything is there. You can do anything you like, but having the Vairagya. With the Vairagya, when you enjoy, the enjoyment is not based on the object, but by the self. Being in different places doesn't make him different from place to place. His enjoyment is constant, whether he is in Kailasa. That's why he has been depicted in Kailasa, where there is no roof, where there is no house, where there is no only mountains, where there is him sitting on this one. Why? His total, one man cannot survive like this, right? The way he has been picturized, you see. This shows, it is not that he is sitting like that, but it shows that how, without any of these things, how he can be happy. It is not that, none of these things are required for a person to be happy in the sense. That means externally showing us, that objectively showing us. Just an example, that's all. That means that happiness or the Vairagya or the Raga and Vairagya, Raga and Dvesha, everything is within you. That inside you. This, culturing this, don't think that why we are talking about that. Culturing this happens where, in vivaha, in Gruhastasramam. The contentment happens in the Gruhastasramam. This experience has to be done during the process of vivaha and Gruhastasramam, is why this has been included in the Shodasa samskara. Now you understood what is the meaning of samskara? This samskara can be created only by living. That's why many great men, they wanted to become a Gruhastasrami during the process of Kali Yuga, and they wanted to gain the experience. Because Kali Yuga is the best time in order to have the best test on you. The whole obstacles will be there on outside. Lot of Rambhas, Menakas, lot of attractions at that time, lot of Yuddha, lot of Asuras, lot of attractions, lot of things. Everything will be outside you, and where you can resist. This test can be done only by you. So great men want to be born in a Gruhastasramam in Kali Yuga. This is called a Vairagya. So this is called culturing. That's why Shodasha Samskara, it has been incorporated in Samskara to culture yourself and to become that. So once you come out of that, who are you? Equivalent to God. That's why the Shodasha Samskara includes this. So what happens? Any anushtanam is any ashramam is an anushtanam of the vridam. And sannyasa, grihastashrama, vanapastha, ashram, all are attaining for moksha, mukti and moksha. They are all for karma mukti, karma moksha. They are all meant for coming out of it, you see. So that is the purpose of it. Rishi Vaishnava, being a Rishi, knowing the man who knows everything, got married to a asura stri, from whom only the Ravana was born. Does he not know that she is an Asuri? He knows. But he intentionally got married to him. He has not changed. Rishi Vaishnava is the same as ever after that. But after that he knows that this will happen and this will go, this has to be done. Everything knows. Knowingly he got married to that. Even though earlier his marriage, Kubera was his son again, Rishi Vaishnava. Rishi Vaishnava's son is Kubera. So this is Ravana, that's why, step brother. You remember the story that he goes to this vivaham, that Swarna Vimana has been stolen from or by force taken from Kubera. Is by threatening him, being a brother, he said, okay, take it, things like that. Anyway, a lot of things. They are all stories. Anyway, what I mean to say is that Rishi Vaishnava, having known that it's an asura stri, still he got married. One can ask, being this one, how he can be responsible for bringing Ravana into this world. That's why all this has happened. He is supposed to bring it. His dharmam, he knew. He knew this is my dharmam. And I have to marry. Look at that Rishi, is what I appreciate. I cried inside me sometimes, Look at that Rishi who is a tapasvi, who gained absolute knowledge. Any bhuta, he does like this about 40 days or he does this number of times, he converts it into anything that you require. He thinks anything, and great saints, great people and great maharishis also went and paid respect to Rishi Vaishnava. Such a jnani, absolute knowledgeable man, have attained up great tapophalas. Such a man, look at him, he has been appointed for bringing a person like Ravana from him. How sad it is for him, can you imagine that? But what happened? He accepted that, he accepted that dirty job to be done for the universe or for the world to be done, because there is a sharper and this Jaya Vijaya has to be born as Ravana. So who else can be bringing? And he should be a knowledgeable person, and he should be very well, because the contrast has to be shown to the world as well as things like that. He has to be equally good, he has to be equally bad. He has got both the qualities. Ravana is the only one who has got these two qualities. Excellent in jnanam, excellent in ajnanam, both together. Darkness and brightness together, you can say that, which is not possible, but it's possible in Ravana. To bring up to that child who is eligible people have seen, Bhagavan has seen, and saw that Rishi Vishrava is the right person. Why? Because they knew any other rishis or anybody else has been given to that chance of that, he might get attracted to it and then he may become bad, or he may kill himself, or he may not like, whatever it is, something like that. They won't be ready to accept it because it's a great shock for a tapasvi who has got great tapobalas and great jnanam. Who can accept this? No, it's not a good job that he's doing it. I mean, as far as this is concerned. But what happened? He has to do that job. What happened? Dharmam prevailed upon him. Jnanam prevailed upon him. When jnanam prevailed upon him, the karma that is supposed to be done according to dharmically, which is supposed to be done according to him, will not bring him disappointments to him. So, no attractions and attachment to externalities, because he himself is contained with all his tapobalas, with jnanam. This is a simple thing which has to be executed for the purpose of the benefit of the world, because of the world. Certain things have to happen in the world. So for that, my contribution for this is absolutely necessary. Like contribution of Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, Rishi Vishrava has to create this contribution. So his jnanam, when it is there, what happened? That disappointment or the inferiority, you can say that a complex, that Ravana is my son. How to say that? He can proudly say Ravana is my son. That quality, that refinement or this contentment or this samskara is there because of the jnanam. Because he did not give importance to Ravana, he did not give importance to the asura stri whom he got married, he gave importance to himself. That's all. He is contented with his qualities. I contributed my qualities, I have no more, nothing to do with them. Now, in this sense, I have done my creation, I have done my contribution to the world according to the necessity. I am no more attached, no more guilty, no more attached, no more happy, nothing. Absolutely absent. Rishi Vishrava remained same tapasvi jnani. But when we think about it, when normal human being think about it, my God, such a great noble man has been given such a responsibility, how bad it should be. Is that what we think? See, look at the samskara. The samskara made him not get attached to and attracted to and not getting guilty or not getting disappointed about that. You understood what's the meaning of samskara now? This is how the samskara, in Vivaha, he proved that samskara can be written. His samskara has gained more powers on him. You see, he gained more power because he could test himself and he could sustain all these negations, asura stri, asura putra, and his behavioral pattern, everything from all those things. He remained himself as Rishi Vishrava till the end. Is his quality. This is called samskarate. That means you purify yourself. This is the purpose of marriage. This is the purpose of vivaha. Through the experiences you do yourself. Let there be worst experiences. How you face them, how you contribute yourself to the requirement, absolute to the requirement, and then remained non-attached to that, is called the samskara that you gain during the process of vivaha jivda. This is called the Gruhastasramam samskara. In Gruhastasramam samskara and vivaha samskara. So what happened? His responsibilities are contribution to that based on the dharmam. You got the samskara. Now why vivaha has become a samskara? Is because through this lot of purifications takes place, lot of understanding, lot of niswartha bhava takes place. From niswartha bhava, vairagya takes place. From vairagya there is happiness, and from happiness peace. From vairagya what happens? There is nothing can disturb, because raga is inside me, no other raga can attract me. So vairagya brings peace, happiness, and that happiness brings peace because my mind is not agitated because of my raga towards anything. If a raga is based on the objective preferences, I will have agitations of mind because that will get destroyed, or that will get deceived, that will get dead, that will get gone, and stolen or whatever it is. So that will create mental agitation, whereas raga inside me, in Vairagya, what happens? I have absolute happiness and absolute peace. This is the purpose of vivaha. Even though the contributions are many in different, bhautikali, you all know that, we don't have to explain that. Bhautikali, we have to contribute so much. So much has to be contributed in order to have the equilibrium and the peace and the shanti and progress and the procreation, and many things have to be created. On that, what happens? Ultimately, even though all these things have to be done, let it be done like Vaishnava, and I attain Vairagya towards that. This Vairagya you should reach. Now, mostly what happens, because of these things, more attractions have been created is the worst part of it in Vairagya. See, in everything, either it will be absolutely good or it will be absolutely bad. These are the gunas. So in vivaha, either one gets totally attached and attracted to attractions and objects and things like that, or one gets Vairagya to that. Getting Vairagya is called the samskara. But he is not behaving different. Let's not misunderstand things. No. Probably he will be the best Vairagi. He will be the best one who will be behaving perfect, The others may not behave perfect. Others may have different minus points and plus points and combination of all these things. Whereas in a Vairagi, there will be only plus points. There will be only love. There will be only affection. There will be only absolute peace. There will be only gentleness. There will be only all this X, Y, Z. All these things will be there in Raga because he is in Raga. He is with Raga. So automatically everything that comes from him will be Dharmam. This is called refinement. This is called samskara. That's why this has been incorporated in samskara, and this has been given great importance in life, because the major part of the life is spent during this time, naturally. So this is the time when you have to gain maximum samskara in you. Whereas it is the other way around in Kali Yuga, the whole thing is in the reverse direction and they get to do all that. So what happened to attain the life? The whole life is when you look at it, the whole life is a vrata. The complete life is a vrata only. The complete life is a meditation. The complete life is a vrata, because every activity of life is meant for gaining liberation, getting liberation. Each and every activity of life is a vrata, anushtanam, not vratam, vrata anushtanam. Each and every karma, it should be vrata anushtanam. Then only you will be in a position to have. This is the purpose of life, whether you do it or don't do it, accept it or don't accept it, happy or sad, immaterial. Dharmam says this is the purpose of life. To gain yourself purified, to gain yourself samskarate. Again you have the samskara of it. So you have been given enough obstacles for that in order to purify that. Without obstacles you cannot mean it. Unless you take a very rough, file, to have filing the metal. Unless you have that grinding or filing stone absolutely rough, the shine will not come. It should be very rough, very soft. Take a foam and rub it on the gold. Will it shine? No. You have to. No. If it doesn't come with the file or with the grinding stone, you should put it in the fire and then melt it so it will shine. That's it. To that extent. Samskara. This has to be there in life. That is why the life is a lot of obstacles. Use the obstacle to make you shine. Samskara. To become Vairagi. For that you should have yajnam. Why you should have yajnam is why we are sitting here and talking about it, so that one gains it. So that we don't miss that point in our life. Valuable time, valuable life, valuable experience, valuable promotion. That means promotion in the sense I don't lose more time for liberation. Gain this, because these thoughts what we are having today, this education that what we are having today, this I have told number of times, This will be there in you for number of, even if you take number of janmas, it will be there in your Karana Sharira, remain with the soul in order to gain the experiences from the next janma. It will be a continuation. So I just noted down these things now, wanted to tell you, share with you probably, I think. So the purpose of maintenance of Sharira to attain Vairagya and not to increase attractions and attachments and expectations. Living among materialism and not getting involved and attracted to it, and maintain all disciplines, dharmam, through the spiritual practices, all material activities to be done with Vairagya and dispassion. Nobody says don't do it. Nowhere in the Vedas, nowhere in the Shastra. Rig Veda says that yes, you do that, be in this, but do it with Vairagya. No. Don't give too much of importance. हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, that you don't give too much of importance to that. Don't know either to a person, to this, or to a subject, or this one. Don't give too much of importance to it. Absolutely. In colloquial language, it is like that. This is exactly, that means you keep a distance. There's another word. Keep a distance. That means what? Keep in Vairagya with that. That's it. That's all. Nothing other than that. Keep a distance means what? Not get involved in it, not get attracted to it, not get attached to it. Keep a distance. Have it from outside. From the movie you can see from distance, no problem. Don't get involved in it, don't get attached to it. You see? Keep a distance with it. What is that? Vairagya. Live in Vairagya. This habit, and when it happens, you improvise yourself, you purify yourself, you have the samskara of the maha. This is how you promote yourself. There's so many things. It is never ending, of course. Now when we start talking, I wanted to go into details and split, small things, and then go in, so that we understand now what is Vairagya. No? How to live in Vairagya. We are supposed to live in Vairagya in our life. Then only we will enjoy. Then only we will have the Swartha Bhava. When the Swartha Bhava comes, then you will find the world is the most beautiful place to live. When there is Niswartada, one thought inculcating in us, in our brain, in our mind, will make this horrible world what we call today, with all the murders, with all the rapes, with all the unwanted things happening around us, most happiest person. And you live in this Swartha Bhava and Vairagya. Sannyasi, Satyanyavashni, a Rishi, Tapasvi, that's it. That will happen. That kind of activity. This is the samskara. That's why it is known as samskara. In Shodasa samskara, that culturing, purifying yourself. I think I better stop here. We'll go to the next, otherwise we'll never finish. We'll talk whenever it happens. There are so many other things are there in Gruhastasramam. So many other things. Aharam is there, Nidra is there. So many things have to be discussed. It's only one part we have discussed. Aharam is there, Nidra is there, Vicharam is there, education is there, thought is there. How to walk, even that is there. How much to walk, and how to sit. How to sit. There is a chapter. How to sit. How you should sit. From your sitting, one can understand how your mind is functioning. From the posture of sitting, for your activity of sitting, while sitting and while getting up or while sitting, you can be understanding. You should train yourself. Automatically it comes. This all comes with the samskara again. Everything is explained. All. When to tell lie. When to tell a lie. That also is there. You can tell a lie. But when to tell. It doesn't mean that if I lie, doesn't mean that we will hang. No. It is not adharma. Dharmam executed for the purpose of adharmam turned to be adharmam. Adharmam done for the purpose of protecting the dharmam, adharmam is dharma. Lie can be told, is what I am saying. I have not told this. Bhagavad Gita said that. I did not say. Okay. So, we'll go to the next one. Is okay, 5 minutes is there. 14th samskara that I'm reluctant to move. My legs are not moving forward. 14th samskara is Pancha maha yajnam. This also we have explained, I think, last time. Sometime. In every human being's life, we have to do a Pancha maha yajnam. This is also for the purpose of samskara. Tada Pancha maha yajnam, Deva yajnam, Pitri yajnam, Rishi yajnam, Manushya yajnam, Bhuta yajnam. So 5 yajnas we have to do this. Deva yajnam. Yajnam is karma. What is yajnam? Doing a karma. Doing a karma sincerely with a devotion and dedication and absolute renunciation. That's yajnam. Is called a karma done like this is called a yajnam. Deva yajnam. Deva yajnam is that respecting and regarding like doing a yajnam, like puja, the worshipping them in fact, because they are devatas. Devatas are jnanam in us. The consciousness in us is a devata actually. So externally we look at an object for representing our consciousness. That's why we require God, we require banyan tree, we require all the other mandirs and everything is an external God to us, external consciousness to us we require. So Deva Yajnam, Devatas. Who are Devatas? Devatas are those who are highly knowledgeable than us, who are highly, they are connected with only higher consciousness, in whom there is no lower consciousness, only higher consciousness, and absolute principles, absolute Devata, where we have to have our dependency, from where we gain the knowledge from them, derive knowledge from them. Let it be Guru, let it be Devatas, let it be God, whatever we call it. They are all Devatas, including Guru, and also comes under the Deva Yajnam. It will come under the, because we are drawing knowledge from that, from wherever our consciousness or our upliftment takes place. This is called Deva Yajnam. Any yajnam, that means a worship towards them. Worship should be dedication, devotion, and what is that? And a sacrifice. That's sacrifice. It's called a yajnam. Is sacrifice. Sacrifice of what? Devotion, dedication, and the Vairagya. Through the Vairagya, it has to be done. Through the absolute worship, through the dedication and devotion, it can be done. Shraddha and Bhakti. This is how the Deva Yajnam has to be done. That's why, in order to follow the Deva Yajnam or to understand Deva Yajnam only, the formalities of doing morning puja, afternoon puja, evening puja, arati, and this all have been created only to make you conscious about the Deva Yajnam. These are only upadhis to make you conscious. They are not the final, complete anushtanam. This following of these rituals should make you, that purification should take in you, or samskara should happen in you in order to have the dependency on the devata. That means dependency on the devatas, where you don't get attracted to any other attractions around, because there may be so many attractions will drag you here and there and put you in trouble. Don't go that. The assured dependency is the absolute knowledge, absolute jnana, absolute Brahman, and for that Deva Yajnam has been prescribed for the normal human beings. In the Gruhastasramam, Pitra Yajnam has to be done. Pitri Yajnam, respecting the Pitras, ancestors, from which we are the descendants of those people. This is necessary for making us feel that we are not just come, and then we can do anything we like. No, that independence is not there. You are not just have come. There are so many people responsible for you to come here. Now, how many generations have passed by the time you were born to them? So you have to be thankful to that. That's called Pitri Yajnam. The Mata, Pita, jo bhi hai, Matula, all those are there. Everything, all those ancestors have to be, we have to do so. That's why you will find that there are Pitru Pujas are there in some of the seasons. They say that Pitrukal Dhanam to the Pitrus, give to the Pitrukal, give to some people, and in the name of the ancestors, you feed some people and things like that. There are so many formalities. Whatever may be the formality, let it be there. That rituals have been there from place to place or from era to era. Certain changes are there, immaterial, no problem. The purpose is that just to remember yourself that you are not just dropped down from the sky. There are so many people responsible, and we are answerable to them. And they are almost like gods only. Pitras are like gods only. Whether they are alive or they are not alive, both are, it's okay. But even if the Pitras are alive, we have to do that, yajnam. That means when they are alive, our yajnam is different, serving them, seva to them. When they are gone, in the remembering them on a particular day, at least once in a year, they say that Shraddha is there, Shraddha, that's why it is known as Shraddha is there. So you do that through the process of giving them, in the name of dhanyam, we take the til and rice and all that, make gold and give water. And there's a process of giving water. You have to give water like that for the Pitras, you have to give water like that. So these principles have been created by only for remembrance of the good. Today we have to understand, principally we have to understand, like the Deva Yajna, Pitra Yajna is to remember the Pitras because of their karunya. I have got a body, Sharira and Mana, because of them. Because the Atma is yours, so that's a different thing. But Sharira has been given only because of this Pitras. But Sharira is necessary. Sthula Sharira is also absolutely necessary in order to execute all this one. So, Pitra Yajnam, Rishi Yajnam, that Jnanis. Rishis, again, Rishi, here also Gurus can come. Rishi can be Guru, Jnanis. They are all Jnanis. Rishis are those with the Tapopala who gain the absolute Jnana. So we are all belonging to some Rishi or other. There are 9 Rishis, as I told you last time. The 9 Prajapatis are there. Marichi, starting from Marichi, and 9 of them, Vasishta, and all those things are there. These are the Gotras, we call it. Our Gotra is one of the Rishis. And you will find the Gotra will be of these 9 Rishis only, because they are all descendants of these Rishis. Having come from because they are the Prajapatis. They are the only Prajapatis created by the Brahma, that's Manasaputras. They are all Manasaputras. They are all like Manu, and all that. Manu is also one of the Prajapati. So, Manu also comes in that. So, there are 9 of them, and these 9 Rishis are our ancestor. We all come from the descendants of these 9 Rishis. And that Rishi Dharma to maintain. This is why Rishi Dharma, to do the worship towards that Rishi from where we have come. In that Rishi also, Guru also can come. And then comes Manushya Dharma. Manushya Dharma is that helping each other when we are in this world, like we are doing the Shraddha and Bhakti towards the others, we have to have Shraddha and Bhakti towards the people around us. Whoever is with us, we should have that, Shraddha and Bhakti. Here, when we are among the people, when we don't call it as, even though we should call it as Shraddha and Bhakti, it is equivalent to Shraddha and Bhakti, because love and affection towards them and karunya towards them. Poor people, we help them, and that's karunya. This is also a kind of bhakti only. They are all kind of bhakti only. So, Manushya Dharma is taking care of the people around us. Manushya Dharma. Bhuta Dharma is that everything, including the trees, plants, and then insects and animal, everything. Ants, that's why we some people, we all give small things to ants to eat. We give the dhanyam to birds. They're all, we take care of them. Even for snake, we give them milk one day. Naga Panchami day, we give them milk. Like this, what is all the meaning that bhutam. No? Bhuta yajnam. This is bhuta yajnam. Giving water and manure to the trees and plants, giving to the insects, giving to the birds, giving to this, giving to that. All these are bhuta yajnam, taking care of them. So bhuta yajnam. These are the Pancha yajnas that everybody should do during the purpose. This all again. Now why we should do it? No, there can be a question. Absolutely right. Why should you do it? If a person who have understood that these are all the Brahman only, including a small insect is also a Brahman, I am also the same Brahman. Because in both of us is the same Brahman is there. Even in a small seed, in a plant, in a bird or in an ant, everything is same. A person who understands that, he need not to do any feeding of ants and feeding of birds. No. Which Maharishi feeds the birds? Who is sitting and doing tapasya? Which Maharishi feeds the animals and ants? No, nobody, no? Not necessary. Before after being cooked, the first food that what we take out, we give to the crows. No? Meaning of what? What is that? It's nothing but Pancha. They also, let them also eat. They are also a part of Brahman. Before I eat, I give them. You see, let them eat. That's one thing. Is why we are giving that. That making you conscious that everything is Brahman, everything is same. Everybody has got the same right as you. The cooked food, even though you have cooked it, even that bird has a right in it. So, proving that it should be shared to the Bhuta. This is called Bhuta Yajnam, that's all. What for? Why is it all that? Not that every day as a ritual, give to the crow. Somebody told after that, why we are giving to the crow? Because if there is a food poisoning in the food, and if you give to the birds and if they die, then you don't eat it. Another way. Yeah, it is. Birds are used, you know that? Birds are used. In mines, I have seen it, personally I have seen it myself. Because in coal mines, when you go down, gaseous materials are there. Now, how to know this? In those days, I'm talking about for 40, 50 years ago, no instruments. I think today they have developed some instrument and some beep will come. But those days, nothing was there. No? So there are these sparrows are there, small. They are all caught, collected. And every shift, about 50 people are going down. The leader who goes, they will be given one sparrow on a stick. They will tie it. The leg will be tied on that. He's got a long stick, about 6 feet long. So he will hold that like this and goes. The time it dies there is a gaseous material. So up to that only people can go and work. This is done every shift, every day. I don't know today it is done or not. I think today the instruments they have invented and that will beep so that no gas. Birds are used for that. Okay, that's a different thing. That's not Bhuta Yajnam. Okay. That's Bhutam. हम लोग का जो normal Hindi Bhuta, that is Bhuta. Oh, sure. I think next is only 2 that we will finish there, and then after Antyeshti there is 3 Shariras. I think should be okay. Okay. Oh, Shanti. Shambhu. Mahadev.